The Department of Justice, the prosecutors will be prosecuted, the bad ones. The investigators will be investigated, because the deep state, last term for President Trump, they were hiding in the shadows. But now they have a spotlight on them, and they can all be investigated, and the House needs to be cleaned out.
Former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi has promised to investigate those who prosecuted Donald Trump. And that was before Trump tapped her to be the next U.S. Attorney General, following the implosion of former Congressman Matt Gaetz' nomination. Bondi's past vow of retribution is coming into focus this week, with Special Prosecutor Jack Smith having moved to abandon his investigations into Trump, filing motions to drop all federal charges in the classified documents and election interference cases, and citing long-standing Justice Department policy against prosecuting a sitting president. Jack Smith has long been a target for the now president-elect and his allies. But as the special counsel appears to be finished with Trump, the question now is whether Trump and his allies are finished with Jack Smith. Joining me is David Rohde, NBC News Senior Executive Editor for National Security at NBC News and author of Where Tyranny Begins, the Justice Department, the FBI, and the War on Democracy. What a prescient title. All right. What steps do you think Jack Smith might be taking in anticipation of these investigations? I'm
sure he's lawyering up. I know other people who could be the focus of Trump investigations who are hiring lawyers. The people I know, I've not spoken to Jack Smith, they're not, I mean, they see maybe years of investigations ahead, but they're not worried about actually going to jail, because they're very confident that they've done nothing illegal here. There was, particularly in the classified documents case, there was, extreme, 100 classified documents. Trump was asked to return them for over a year. He said he had returned them all at one point. And then there was video footage that showed that actually had people hide a bunch of boxes on the day the FBI came down there. And that's what finally led to the search of Mar-a-Lago. With Jack Smith's cases, these were basically removed by the Supreme Court, which came in, with a ruling that said, presidents, are immune from prosecution, and the ruling by Aileen Cannon.
So you sound very reasonable, which I love. I love that we're still living here and not yet in the upside down. But as you're sounding reasonable, and you have Jack Smith saying, I'm wrapping up these cases because of the Supreme Court, that you have Senator Mike Lee of Utah pointing to Smith's actions as a sign that these investigations were political lawfare. So, I mean, there's going to be chaos agents in the mix.
So I just want to say that, withdrawing the cases is exactly an example of Jack Smith following DOJ rules. And this is a rule that was set up during Watergate with Nixon, that, a sitting president shouldn't be criminally prosecuted. You shouldn't have a local DA prosecuting a sitting president, because it would lead to chaos. And so the substance of these cases have not been dismissed by any court. Aileen Cannon's ruling, the Florida judge, it was like a technicality that Jack Smith wasn't properly named as, a special counsel. So the fact that Jack Smith is doing this and, obeying this norm shows the fairness of the system. And he said that in his statement, that he was doing this because of the need for a president to be free from this, but he wasn't doing it because of the weakness of the case, or there was something improper. What happened on January 6th was incredibly serious, and so was President Trump's handling of classified documents.
Do you have a sense of how career prosecutors are dealing with the winding down of these cases?
The people involved in them are, I think,
both.
Yes, they're looking to leave the department. But most people are staying, and most people, want to
staying so long as they are welcome.
Staying so long as they are welcome. A second project that the Trump administration has talked about, right now there's only about 4,000 political appointees by the president across the federal government. There's a few dozen in the DOJ. There's a talk of changing that and instead having tens of thousands of people personally appointed by the President of the United States. That would give even more power to the president. And, our system is a division of powers between three branches. It's frustrating, but it's to divide powers. But this is sort of the key of this whole deep state. The theme here is that there's out-of-control bureaucrats who are unfairly prosecuting the president, who are wasting taxpayer dollars. I have not found evidence of that. These are generally people, there's bias. They want to support their own, department they work in. But I have not found any evidence that there's a secret cabal of prosecutors who are trying to undermine democratically elected presidents. If you want to shrink government, that's fine. If you say there's too many government employees, they're all bureaucrats, that's fine. This is a whole different level. That, again, there's some secret coup by workers at the EPA and the Department of Interior and the Justice Department. And I have not found evidence of that.
Less than 30 seconds left, but Pam Bondi, I mean, she comes with her own challenges in terms of a vet or a confirmation, the lobbying for Qatar, the Trump University, back and forth with the PAC. Do you think that she sails through?
I think she sails through. She has a lot of experience. She was a local prosecutor for 16 years. She was AG for 2 years. What does she do? You know, does she will, I think there will be investigations of Jack Smith. It'll be like the Durham investigation. I don't think they will find crimes. There was an effort, again, Jim Comey committed crimes, John Brennan committed crimes, and Durham really didn't have any strong cases. And I think the same thing could happen with Bondi.
David Rowe, thank you so much for coming in, being with me.
Thank you.